Good evening from Chicago and the floor of the Democratic National Convention. It is hard to remember a summer when the political landscape shifted so rapidly. Think about it. It was 1 month ago today, President Biden announced he was dropping out, handpicking Vice President Kamala Harris as his successor. Tonight, a lineup revealing just how things have evolved, featuring headliner Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, Harris's very newly minted vice presidential running mate, introducing himself to the nation, and Nancy Pelosi, who helped catalyze the change in the top of the ticket, also taking center stage. But the changes are not over. Just in tonight, third-party candidate and scion of the Kennedy family, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., is poised to suspend his campaign and endorse former President Trump, according to two sources. Peter Alexander starts us off tonight from here in Chicago.
For Tim Walz, tonight is game night, a chance for the Minnesota governor and former high school football coach to introduce himself to America. Campaign aides tell NBC News Walz will highlight the values he learned growing up in small-town Nebraska that shaped his service in the National Guard, as a teacher, and as a six-term congressman. NBC News getting a first look at the DNC video to air tonight, narrated by his wife.
Tim went to college on the GI Bill and became a social studies teacher. That's where Tim and I met. We shared a classroom with a divider right down the middle.
Democrats tout his plain-spoken manner, but some of his progressive policies as governor, like giving undocumented immigrants driver's licenses and taxpayer-funded health care, have come under attack from Republicans, who also accuse him of embellishing his military record, including telling a crowd he carried weapons in war, despite never serving in combat.
We can make sure that those weapons of war that I carried in war is the only place where those weapons are at.
The Harris campaign says he misspoke. Walz's speech comes after an electrifying night here, featuring two of the party's biggest stars.
America's ready for a new chapter. America's ready for a better story. We are ready for a President Kamala Harris.
Former President Obama calling on Americans to work together while mocking former President Trump.
There's the childish nicknames, the crazy conspiracy theories, this weird obsession with crowd sizes.
But getting the night's loudest ovation, former First Lady Michelle Obama.
America, hope is making a comeback.
Delivering her own stinging takedown of the Republican nominee.
His limited, narrow view of the world made him feel threatened by the existence of two hard-working, highly educated, successful people who happen to be black. Who's going to tell him that the job he's currently seeking might just be one of those black jobs?
But with Democrats riding a wave of new enthusiasm, the former first couple also delivered a warning.
This will still be a tight race in a closely divided country.
And a rallying cry.
Michelle Obama is asking you, no, I'm telling y'all to do something.
Looking to showcase the vice president's personal side, a self-deprecating Doug Emhoff, Harris's husband, shared the first time he called her.
I got Kamala's voicemail, and I just started rambling. Hey, it's Doug.
And celebrated their blended family.
She's always been there for our children, and I know she'll always be there for yours, too.
And, Peter, you have some new reporting on what President Clinton will say tonight.
Lester, that's right. An aide tells NBC News that former President Clinton plans to highlight what they call the stark differences in vision, experience, and temperament between Harris and Trump. Notably, this is the 12th consecutive appearance at a Democratic convention for Clinton. Lester?
All right, Peter Alexander, thank you. Former President Trump continuing his battleground blitz to counter-program the convention here, and he is picking up new support from a 2024 competitor tonight. Vaughn Hilliard joining us now with late details. Vaughn, this involves Robert Kennedy Jr.
That's right, Lester. Two sources tell us that Mr. Kennedy intends to end his third-party presidential bid this Friday and endorse former President Donald Trump, though talks are still ongoing. This could be a major move in an election that could come down to just a few thousand votes. Tonight, former President Trump in battleground North Carolina holding an outdoor campaign event for the first time since surviving the assassination attempt in Pennsylvania.
But the voters will hold Kamala and Joe accountable.
Secret Service installing bulletproof glass in front of and behind the podium. The event built on a national security theme, with Trump joined by running mate J.D. Vance.
Kamala Harris has allowed a literal invasion of this country, more than 10 million illegal aliens. If we give Kamala Harris a promotion and make her the president of the United States, the southern border is going to look like Walmart on Black Friday.
And Vance was asked if Trump would promise a cabinet post for an RFK Jr. endorsement.
I think clearly Donald Trump is not going to say, I'll give you a cabinet position if you give me an endorsement. It's about welcoming a lot of those Democrats who feel abandoned by the party of Kamala Harris.
The Republican ticket on a battleground blitz this week. Trump again making false claims about the election.
Our primary focus is not to get out the vote. It's to make sure they don't cheat, because we have all the votes you need.
Arguing the Democratic convention is only focused on him.
They mentioned the economy like 12 times. They mentioned the border, maybe none. That's all they talk about. Trump. We've driven him crazy.
And responding to those sharp attacks from former President Obama and Michelle Obama.
He was taking shots at your president. And so was Michelle. You know, they always say, sure, please stick to policy, don't get personal. And yet they're getting personal all night long, these people.
The former president signaling he won't change, despite many of his allies urging him to stick to policy, not personal attacks. Vaughn Hilliard, NBC News, Asheboro, North Carolina.
All right, Vaughn Hilliard, thank you. And here in Chicago, this is a far different Democratic convention from the one originally planned. Meet the Press moderator, Kristen Welker, joining me now. And Kristen, we have to remind ourselves this ticket is only about 3 weeks old, and now this huge test.
That's right. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are facing the tests of their political lives, and it's particularly critical for Tim Walz that he land this speech tonight. He's got to introduce himself to the country when so many people say they are not familiar with him. So I am told to expect him to cast himself as a former teacher, a veteran, and also a family man. And that is reflective, that tone is reflective of what we've heard throughout the course of this convention, which has been reworked over the course of 4 weeks now. The goal here is really to convince people that Kamala Harris will take the country in a positive direction when many people are dissatisfied with the direction the country's headed. Lester.
All right, these delegates now taking their seats as this is about to get underway, night 3. Thank you, Kristen. The war in Gaza remains a potent issue here with protests, arrests, and calls for a ceasefire. And some of the hostage families are here. Today I spoke with Jon Polin, whose son Hersh is still in Hamas captivity.
Every day you affix a piece of tape to your shirt with a number. Today it's 320 days. What is it like to put that number on each day and watch it continue to go upward?
It was day 26 that my wife Rachel said, I'm tired of people asking me what day it is. I'm just going to wear it. And there is something incredibly emotional about not just putting on a pin, but every day deliberately pulling off the tape, writing that number out, feeling the emotion of it being one more day.
Jon Polin says his attendance at the Democratic National Convention should only be read one way.
Is it a fine dance, though, trying to avoid being political or being perceived as political as you appeal to leaders?
All hostage families, all of us have the one job of doing everything we can to bring home our loved ones, our sons, our daughters, our mothers, our fathers, grandparents. That's what we focus on. And our job is not to be politicians. It's to bring home our loved ones. And unfortunately, on day 320, I feel like we have all failed.
At the same time, is it hard to be non-political when you see how the various parties approach the hostage issue?
One of the things that's been really encouraging for us is the extent to which we've so far been able to mostly keep it out of political divisions. But it is hard. Everything is politicized there in the Middle East. But at the end of the day, we're all humans. We're sensitive to suffering on all sides. We're fighting for our loved one and 108 other hostages. But we want all the suffering to come to an end.
Jon Polin in our conversation today. It is going to be a big night here in Chicago. Coverage is streaming on News Now all night. And join us on NBC as we hear from former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, former President Bill Clinton, and vice presidential candidate Tim Walz. Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.